Hi, Leah.
Hi, Kamna. All right.
I love today's topic.
I can't wait to tell you how we interpreted this totally different. So this is going to be
Well,
so
I'm
much
sure
fun.
we did. That's what
Yeah.
we normally do.
So tell
We're
everybody
talking
yeah.
we're talking about having it all. And what does
hmm
that mean?
Yep. So I'm not even going to say anything. I'm just that's everybody who's listening heard having it all. That's what Kamna and I said that was the topic. Okay. So now
hmm
we'll dive into it. But first I want to hear about your call to action.
Mixed results. So my call to action was to have a salad. I think I said three times,
3 or 5.
two or three times for breakfast.
Oh yeah.
Um, I'm having my salad for the month of June, 5 days a week, but I tried to have a salad two times last week for breakfast
And
to mix it up. And I realize I don't like it because it's too much work.
too much work chewing or putting it together?
Putting it together, salads are a lot of work to put together. I feel like all the chopping and the thinking and the washing. And I know I don't want that much work in the morning. I'm not a morning
I know.
person. So
I agree.
from it's too much work. So I'm glad I realized that because I always thought it would be a good idea for me, but I could do like a cucumber, a couple of tomatoes, but a proper salad, no way.
No,
No
too
way.
much.
Mhm. I
Okay.
have been doing the salads every day, for like 4 or 5 days of the week, and I feel great when I eat them. I feel
And you
really
don't feel
good.
as bloated the next day, you said?
No, I feel really good.
I like this. I've noticed the same thing actually since you said it.
Mhm.
And I'm going, oh my gosh, I think there's something to it. Maybe I feel less bloated because of that salad yesterday.
Yeah,
I don't
because
know if
everything's
it's
moving through, you
maybe,
know?
is that the science behind it?
That's a lot of fiber, and fiber helps cleanse
Yeah.
all the waste.
But I
So
don't feel that way after I eat, like, let's say beans or other fiber.
beans are very gaseous, though.
Yeah. So what's the difference in that fiber, I guess is we need to
I would suspect, if we had to theorize, that it's the chewing of the salad, because you need to chew a lot for salad.
okay.
And
Maybe.
beans, you don't need to chew as much. So the chewing like produces a lot of digestive fluids, which break down the food, the slow digestion helps to feel full, less bloating.
Okay. I'll go with that theory. I'm just going with it. I like that theory.
Why not? But I
Why?
did do something. I remember you challenged me last week to go for a walk in the evening
Yeah.
and not take a shower
Okay.
afterwards. I did that. I did it twice.
2 times. All right. So how did you feel?
Yes, I loved it. I just took a walk. I cleared my head and just enjoying the scenery and just sort of meditative walk, not like an exercise walk, but just a
It's an enjoyable one.
yeah. So like after dinner, digest my food.
So do you think it's because you're not at home that you did that?
Yes. Oh
Okay.
yes.
So I have to challenge you. So when you're at home, you have to do it too.
Yes. I need
Okay.
to because I felt really good, honestly.
All right. I like that you did it down there though, because I think that's important for you to really like get out, enjoy where you are, take advantage, practice that gratitude, that whole
Oh
thing,
yes.
you
Yes.
know? So I think it's good. All right. So
How
I
was
have
yours?
so I have an update real quick though. Remember I said I was going to try and get 15,000 steps.
Yes.
I'm not right now. I don't know and I'm trying to dissect why. I'm getting 12 and then I don't know if I'm forgetting, I don't know if I'm too busy. I don't know what's going on. I'm not mad about it. I'm not upset about it, but I do want to be honest and transparent with everybody that for some reason that is just petered off.
Are
I
you distracted?
maybe, probably, I probably
And
don't.
your routine's off with the summer, right?
Yeah, all off. And I can't get a routine. Like I feel like I don't have a routine in the summer, so that's probably part of it. So anyway, that's gone. But my actual call to action was to start looking at the enjoyment of my food and getting pleasure from my food again,
Mm-hmm.
or why I'm not doing it. And I realized very similar to what you said about the salad is I don't get pleasure from my food because I am very lazy when it comes to preparing food for myself.
Mm,
I wouldn't say I'm lazy in any other aspect of my life, really, but when it comes to that, I have zero desire to put something together that I would find
yeah.
pleasure. That's the bottom line. Like, I don't find pleasure in anything unless I'm taking the time to like roast the vegetables and make something, and I don't want to do that. Is there something wrong with me?
No, I
Okay.
think I would suspect that you have other things that you get pleasure in.
Probably. So I don't mind, I guess, not getting the pleasure in my food, maybe.
But where do you if you were doing something by yourself, for yourself, what makes you happy? Like, you're excited to do it?
Oh, like I'm excited to read a book out in the sun. Like
Oh,
that's
that's so
my pleasure.
nice.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So then like I come home and I'm like, I have zero desire to make myself something that gives me pleasure. I'm just going to randomly eat whatever I can throw together. Is that
I
maybe that's
understand
not
that.
the right attitude, but that's what I've discovered is that I don't care and I don't want to care and I don't want to do it when it comes to making myself something.
No, I get it, and I've been thinking about it since you mentioned that, and in our house, there's a lot of talk around food all the time.
Hmm.
All the time. What are we eating for breakfast? What are we eating for lunch? And what should I make for dinner? If I'm with my parents or my in-laws or even in our own house, we're talking about food.
Yeah.
And even when we're not eating meals, it's like, oh, what's there for snack?
Yeah.
So this is a topic, a huge portion of conversation in our house. So that experience then becomes like a shared experience and a conversation piece and oh, this is so good and
Mhm.
whatever, like, so that becomes part of our family experience. Does that
Okay.
make sense?
Yeah.
So for us, it's really revolves around the food.
But you also said that you'll make something for yourself if it's just you.
Well, I think it's a learned behavior. So I've
Oh.
seen, because I was really thinking about this, like, what's the difference between me and you? Because we
Mhm.
both care about what we eat,
Right.
but I get so much more pleasure out of it because I have learned that food is just so important in our house all the
Okay.
time. We're just always talking about it, thinking about it, eating it, like it's always there.
That could be the difference. I mean, we always talk about it too, but I don't think in the same way you do.
Mm-mm.
It's like, "Hey, mom, what's for dinner?"
Yeah.
No, it's not like I don't know. It's very
Even
interesting.
if I'm with my girlfriends, we're talking about recipes and how did you make this? And we're sharing dishes and just a lot of conversation around food.
Okay, yeah, that is different. Like, I don't ever talk to my sisters about like, "Oh, what did you make for dinner?" Or I would try to
Really?
recipe. Very, very, very seldom. So that could be part of it, but I don't know if I'm ready to do the work to change my problem
You
right now.
don't have to though.
Right, yeah. I
I
did,
think
like, roast vegetables and make something, and I actually said, "Oh my god, this is good. This is giving me that
mm,
pleasure," and I enjoyed it, but it was work.
yeah, yeah. I think it's so important for us to realize what serves us,
Mhm.
and a salad for breakfast might be great for somebody, but it isn't great for me. Or, focusing on food it doesn't serve you.
Yeah,
So that's okay.
I agree.
It's
I I
okay.
I I think you're right, and I'm curious to know from everybody who's listening, like, who if they fall where they fall on your side, on my side, not sides
Mm,
per se, but, like, I
yeah,
can't be the only one that just can't stand taking the time to make myself something
I
that's
agree. I mean, I'm
pleasurable.
sure we're all so different,
I know.
and that's okay. And there
Yep,
shouldn't be any judgment about that.
I agree. Alright,
Okay, I'm dying to hear
alright.
your thoughts on having
So
it all.
yesterday, we were on our call to action private group with our
Hmm.
10 people, and you had mentioned, you go, "Oh, I'm letting the cat out of the bag. Tomorrow's topic is having it all." And you
Yeah.
just let a little bit slip, and in my head, I was like I don't know if you even saw my face. Like, swallowed, like,
Yes.
big gulp, and I went, "Oh my god, all of my research was totally, totally different." I
Oh,
did having it all is, can I eat all of my calories in one meal?
yeah.
And I did, can I eat it all? Why do I wanna eat it all? I went that route versus where you were going was like, why do we feel like we have to be able to do all of it?
Well, I got there eventually. So I
Okay, so we
started it. Yes, I started in one place and I ended up sort of where you were.
Okay.
But I found some connections that I started thinking about, and why do we this is where I kind of started why I kind of ended up here. Why do we feel, particularly as women, but I'm sure men feel the same pressure. I don't want to be
Right.
sexist about this, but why do we feel so much pressure to, like you were just talking about, cook the best meal, eat the best meal, do the exercise, go to work, take care of the kids, just every house is pristine and everything's in order and organized and your groceries are all prepped and you have your meal plan for the whole month and what?
Yeah.
That's not my life. I don't know whose life that is.
Mhm.
I can't do that. I don't
It's
know.
like, but it's our expectation that we put on ourselves.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
So that's how you got to, okay, so wait, start from where you started.
Okay. So I started with, I was just looking up having it all. What does it mean? Because I have an idea of what I think it means, which is, and the focus was on women. So I'm just clarifying that in the beginning, is that your ambition exceeds what was expected of women. So ambition beyond what was expected of women at the time. So that means having it all. So you should be able to, I don't know if you remember, you're probably too young, but that commercial of, I can earn the bacon, fry it up in a pan. What's the,
No, I don't know.
I'm gonna look that up, but I can, oh, it's on the tip of my tongue. I can cook up the bacon, fry it up in a pan, something, something. Anyway, it's a
Okay.
commercial. Some people will know
I
what this
believe
is.
you. We're gonna have to Google it after this.
Yes, we have to because it's an idea that you should be able to go to work. You should look beautiful, put lipstick on when your husband comes home so he doesn't see how stressed you are.
Right.
And your dinner is just smelling amazing, and no one knows how stressed out you are.
Right.
And I think where I then went was, if you are a woman who is in the workforce, like all in to working, something else gets sacrificed,
Yeah.
whether it's having a child or whether it's time at work if you need childcare issues. I remember when I first came to Cleveland and I had a job working as an editor in a legal publishing company. And my daughter was born the first year that I was there. And I must have taken off probably 30 days in the first year because she had chronic ear infections. And my husband wasn't able to take off of work because he was in residency. So I had to take off of work every time she was sick. And it impacted, I didn't get a raise, I didn't get promoted, I didn't get all the benefits. Or when I would ask for time off, there's no way that I'm getting it because I've already taken so many days.
Right.
So it impacts what happens next because somebody has to be responsible
Right. Yeah.
if you have a child.
Yeah. And I'm gonna say, like, I think that goes for I don't even know if this is a great way to look at it, but like I also feel like the opposite side of that is like your spouse comes home and they're exhausted in their own way, shape, or form.
Yes.
And then that's where you as a woman or whatever maybe feels even more of that whole like, oh my God, I didn't do this, I didn't do that, I didn't do this. They might not even be saying or seeing that you didn't do that, but that we feel
Yes.
God, they're looking at the floor that I didn't vacuum. Well, they didn't may not have even paid attention to that floor you didn't vacuum, but I automatically have my guard up. Is that like it's just a big circular like feeling, you know?
It totally makes sense. It's an internal pressure that we
Yeah.
put on ourselves, but who's telling us we need to mop the floor and put the dinner on the table, and
Yeah.
who's doing that?
And I've talked to people who are single and live at home, and they'll tell me the same thing. They're like, "Oh my God, I got so much to do. I haven't cleaned my house in forever." And I'm thinking, who you live by yourself. You know what I mean? Like, but I can see that it's more than that now. It's all our own internal struggles that we
Oh,
have.
yes.
It has nothing necessarily to even do with who we're living with or who's coming to visit, because anybody I know that's coming to visit really doesn't care what my house looks like.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we make that very much about us.
Oh, very much. I
Yeah.
remember my sister surprised me when we were living in an apartment. And I think I just had my daughter at that time, but she was really little. And we had toys all over I mean, like in every corner. It was a
Mhm.
disaster because I wasn't expecting anybody. And she walked in, and I still remember, even though it was a one moment in time,
Yeah.
I still remember her face like, oh God, what has happened to your place?
But let me ask you this. Do you think that she really felt that way, or
No,
yeah, I know.
she
Like,
didn't, she didn't care that much. We
right.
grew up being out uber clean, but I just for a second she was like, "Oh gosh, that's a lot of toys." But I think we all have that, like, "Oh boy,"
Yeah.
you know?
So I
But
have same kind of example, but a little bit different. There was one time I was watching my sister's kids for her at her house. And when you're at somebody else's house, there's not much to do. I mean, you could sit down and go on your phone, but I remember
sure.
going, you know what? What would I want if someone was at my house? And I'd be like, oh, I would love someone to clean my toilet, right?
Yes.
So I cleaned her toilet, and I remember telling her, and she went, "Was my toilet that disgusting?" And I went, "No, it was just like, it had nothing to do with that." But do you see what I mean? Like, she immediately
Yes.
internalized it as, "Oh my God, that's disgusting." And I didn't it had nothing. It was just something I wanted to do nice for her. And it's interesting to me now that we're talking about this, how badly we internalize things, almost in the shame way for us. Like, she
Mhm.
put shame on herself. You put shame on yourself. Nobody else did that. We did that. Do you know what I mean? It's
And
like
the other
we
yeah, go ahead.
believe we failed.
Yes. And the other piece of this is we cannot ask for help.
Yeah,
So if we are overwhelmed with all the toys on the floor, or we need to cook dinner, or we need to take out the trash, or whatever the work needs to get done, even if it's something with work. Like if you were busy at work and you said, "Husband, can you take care of dinner tonight?" You would feel like, "Oh God, he doesn't have time," or "I need to do it," or it's hard to ask for help
yeah.
when these things happen.
It's hard to ask for help in all aspects. I think even somebody who's single, it's hard for them to ask for help too. Like,
Oh yes,
go over and change this light bulb or what, I don't even know. I mean, I'm just thinking of my mom or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, it is
yes,
hard.
it's really hard to ask for
We
help.
feel like we failed in some way, shape, or form when that is not what it
Yes,
should be, you know?
exactly, exactly. We're not failing, it's just something has to give because
Yeah.
we cannot do it all. We cannot have it all.
No.
It's a myth.
So I have a great analogy, and I don't know what
Oh,
made me, I was, well, after I finally figured out what we were really talking about, went back to my notebook and started looking at it more. And I thought of it as like, sometimes I feel like I'm trying to put a puzzle together, but I don't have the picture in front of me. So,
oh,
when you get a puzzle and the box comes and it's the
mhm,
picture, and then every once in a while you refer back to it and you're like, oh yeah, this is where the dog is. And
right.
this goes up here. Like, I feel like sometimes I'm trying to put this puzzle together, but there's no picture for me to look at.
So tell me what that means in real life terms.
So that means, like, I'm trying to figure out where I should put, when I should fit in doing the laundry and fit this in and pick up my son from Safety Town teaching. And, like, it's all of these pieces that I'm trying to fit together. And do I need to ask for help for this part of the puzzle? Because I don't know if I might not need it. I think I can just get all the colors together and put it together. I can do it by myself, kind of thing. You know what I
And
mean?
why do you need to do it all by yourself?
Well, that's what I'm trying to figure out. I don't need to, but for some reason, part of me, my brain goes, it's just easier if I do it by myself, which isn't good because I'm not teaching anybody that I do need
Yes.
help, and I'm not teaching anybody else responsibility.
Mm, I see.
Yeah. But do you
It's
relate
tough.
to the puzzle analogy a little bit?
100%. Maybe you don't know. Maybe I should tell you. I'm a little bit of a control freak.
So you want to put the puzzle together all by yourself.
And I think I've become accustomed to not asking for help. And I think when I ask for help, it feels like a sign of weakness, that I'm incompetent in some way. But that's
Mhm.
not the truth.
No.
If I said to my husband, "Can you put the laundry in?" He'd be happy to do it. But it's all in my head that how can I ask him? I need
Mhm.
to do it.
Mhm.
Or
Yeah.
even if I was really busy, if I said, "You worry about dinner tonight. I'm gonna be home late." I should be able to say that without a lot of internal guilt.
I know. that we put on ourselves. I want everybody
Mhm.
to realize a lot of, not all,
100%.
but a lot of it, you know? So
Yeah.
anyway.
So I also was looking up, there was a lot of issues, not issues, but connections with women and childcare and women and having children and having careers. So just a few statistics. Among ultra achievers, 49% of women are childless. 19% of male colleagues are childless. So you can see a disparity already. Almost 50% of women who are career focused end up being with having not having children, and only 20% of men.
Wow.
60% of high achieving women in the older group are married, but that falls to 57% in corporate America. And 76% of older men are married, but that figure rises to 83% among ultra achievers. So as women get married, their career success goes down, but as men get married and stay married, their career success rises.
Crazy.
It's crazy.
So basically,
It,
it's no wonder we feel like we can't have it all, because we just, I feel like it's like sometimes it's like you feel that way.
oh, yes. Yes, because you have maybe desires of your own, like you want to be successful in your career and you want to do something, have your own ambitions, but that's curtailed because biologically women, I was listening to this podcast, it's Esther Perel, but I don't remember the name of the podcast. She does a couple of them. And it was this couple who worked together in a gym. They owned a business together.
Okay.
And they started out both as training and involved in their business. And something happened in their life which pulled her more towards the home. And my assumption was that it was having children. So then she started focusing at home because she needed, biologically, she had the children. So she was
Right.
home. So she was distracted from the work part. So then he could focus on the work part, and he put all of his energy into the work, thereby excluding her from decisions that were to be made together. And I thought, well, isn't that just how it is? Because biologically, we birth the children and we nurture them and we take care of them. And that is expected of us.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
then, if you have career ambitions, that's going to get sidelined.
Yeah, and then sometimes when you realize it, it's almost, sometimes we feel like it's too late to have those career ambitions.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yes. Yes.
It's like, well, I'm already fill in the blank. I can't do that now. I can't go back to school now. Like, and it's also that whole feeling of starting over again. Nobody wants to do
Yes.
that, you
Yes.
know? And even for anybody that's single, that is like it's like you're still going through, like, even if you're childless and single, you're still going like, God, I feel like I can't be enough to some of these other people that I work with, man.
Yes. I can't be enough.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
And
is
research demonstrates that women are happier when they have career and family, for the most part. Obviously, there are some people who don't
Yeah,
want it. Maybe they don't want the career, or maybe they don't want the family, and that's perfectly fine.
yeah. It's a hard balance, which actually just made me think of this as like, is this topic really just about balancing?
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Is that really what it's
Yeah.
about?
Yes. And there was one more thing I read, which then took me down to where you were.
Okay.
So men are better at compartmentalizing their lives, while women put a cornucopia of to-dos on our plates. So men can say one thing at a time, they just tick off the list, where women, we have like 100 things on our list and we're doing 50 of them all at the same time.
Mhm.
You have laundry going, you have work going, you have phone call happening, you have dinner cooking, and it's all happening at the same time.
Yeah, and then I think that's where the resentment comes in from women. Like, I'm
Yes.
doing 50 things right now, and you just did one email from work. Like, right? I'm just, this is a hypothetical, guys. This is real. But you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And that's the little bit of that resentful. And it's like, I'm trying to have it all right now and do it all, and you're only doing a thing.
Yes. Yes,
right?
there, but
I don't think it
that's
ever changes. Like, I look at my mom and she's loves at home and, with her brother, but still, like, she's still always trying to do all of these things, and it's like, she doesn't even need to, but she's still
right.
trying to do it all. Maybe I get it from her.
Maybe.
Yeah,
We learn from our parents,
right.
obviously. So then I went, and I'm going to ask you where you were, because I have a little transition. So then I went to, how does this translate to weight loss?
Okay.
Okay, so then if you go to the work and you take care of the kids and you work out and you're supposed to meal prep and you have a hot meal on the table, and then you're supposed to go to bed at a reasonable time, and all while maintaining some semblance of relationships, like calling your mom, or
Right.
talking to your kids, and having a relationship with your partner, all of these things are supposed to happen in a day.
Mhm.
I don't know how we can manage then doing the meal prep and cutting the veggies and making sure we have a salad and making sure we drink our water and getting enough sleep and all the things that we're supposed to do for ourselves. Where is that on the list?
Well, I think that's why it doesn't go on the list. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, that's just too much to throw on a list. And it also goes back to time management skills, which I think some of us maybe are better at than others.
Well,
Could that
but
be?
I think the problem though is we prioritize everybody else above ourselves.
Okay, so I was gonna bring this up later on in the topic, but I'm gonna bring it up right now. I know we're all over the place, but when I looked up balancing and how to balance, they give 7 dimensions. They call them dimensions that are in part everybody has in their life, 7 dimensions. Okay, I'm gonna read them really quick. Your family, and
Yeah.
they're not in any particular order.
Okay.
Family, social slash community,
Hmm.
spiritual, physical, meaning health and your well-being, materialistic things, avocational slash hobbies, which I didn't even know what avocational meant, but anyway, and then career. So these 7 dimensions, and the whole thought of balancing them is you figure out which order they're in your for values right now. And they change. They're going to change constantly. And I think that might be part of it, what you're saying when it comes to taking care of ourselves and our food. Like, where do we fall in our values list? Are we even on there? And that would be
Right.
the physical health and well-being. And if that is number 7 for me, there's a problem,
Right.
you
And
know?
that thing is not going to get ticked off the list because you
No.
have too many other things to do.
Right. Right. And I just think it's very intriguing to me that where you went with this and where I went with it, and finally we're back at the same page, is like looking at it and it's like, is my health and well-being at the top or at the bottom?
And where would you say it is for you?
Well, I'm gonna say it's in the dead middle right now,
Okay, that's not bad though.
which isn't bad. No, not at all. So yeah. What about you? I mean, well, let me back up first. I think that when it comes to um hobbies, I feel like that one though needs to go tied with health and well-being, because I feel like that's a part of everybody's mental health that is so
Okay,
important.
that makes sense. I
Because at
think,
first I was like,
yeah,
well, maybe that one should go down lower because I really should be cutting my vegetables up for my salad. But I'm like, but I want to make time to do my hobby too. Like, that's part for your mental health.
I
So that's
agree.
a tough call right there. Anyway, what about you? Where are you
Yeah.
at?
Well, I think what you said was right, is sometimes you just need to stop. And if we're sitting out in the sun reading gives you that
Yeah,
peace and recharge, that's important.
right.
You can't be running all the time. And if it's a hobby, whether it's painting or exercise or whatever, I bowl. I love bowling. It recharges me.
Right.
It's fun. We need a little bit of that in our life.
So it becomes that balance of taking the time to put myself and the things I need for my weight loss on the list and getting my hobbies done.
I agree. I
But
agree.
then maybe I look at it and go, okay, well, this part and this part can go at the bottom this month. Like, I don't need to worry about this and this. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
anyway,
Well, then where I went is, I was thinking about, why is it so hard to be patient when trying to lose weight? or
Yeah.
get in shape
Oh,
or
you
have
really
better health.
did go all over the place.
Well, I started somewhere, like in general, with
Yeah.
women having it all.
Yeah.
And then I went to what does that mean in terms of their real life? And then I
Okay.
went to if you even narrow it down to themselves and how they take care of their health and wellness, what does that mean? And then if you're thinking about weight loss, because we're always on some kind of weight loss plan,
Always.
we're never content with where we are.
No woman I've ever met loves where they're at weight wise.
I was looking at pictures this morning. I was looking for something for somebody. So I was scrolling through my pictures and I was like, I looked really good and I remember feeling fat.
I know. I did this. I've had that feeling too.
Like, that's ridiculous. Why am I never content with where I am in the moment?
Yeah.
And I was thinking, the problem is we don't have patience for ourselves. If your kid said something, I need to work on this, you would patiently help them, teach
Yeah.
them, work with them. We have zero patience for what we need to do. And what that results in is I'm looking for a quick fix. I'm going to go on keto and lose 20 pounds, or I'm going to cut out carbs, or I'm going to uh, exercise for 3 hours a day. Why are we looking for that quick fix
Yeah. We have no patience. You're right.
for ourselves? We have
Mhm.
patience for everybody else.
Well, I'm thinking I don't have patience at all, but now that you say it,
I'm sure you do.
no, I do. But I know what you're saying is like, you're right. I want it fast. I want it done now, even though
And
that's
I
not.
I think this is why men, we always think of men lose weight faster. Obviously, it's because of their biology. They have more muscle, so they will burn more calories. But I think part of the benefit they have is because they can compartmentalize. They can focus on one thing at a time. So if they're trying to cut calories, for example, they can focus on that and do it properly.
Yeah. And
Whereas if we say we're going to cut calories, we're like all over the place.
right. But we have 500 things else. We have 500 other things we want to do.
So then how do you make time for yourself?
Yeah. Do you have an answer? Because I need it. No, I don't.
I
But
don't. So a number that I found was it might take men 2 or 3 months to lose 10% of their weight, while it takes women 5 to 7 months to lose 10% of their weight. This is according to Women's Health.
that's so sad.
It's
It-
nuts. It's our biology and we're not accepting it.
right. Ah, wait,
I
you just key there. We're not accepting it
no.
because we want to have it all.
Yeah, and because we are disappointed where we are in our progress and we compare ourselves to others, then we get frustrated, and when we get frustrated, we give up and then we end up eating a bag of Doritos. Not that I've ever done that.
Never. Yeah.
So if there's a lot of propaganda that we can eat and lose it and we can have it all. We can have our cake and still lose weight and enjoy the party, and it's
Yeah,
not true.
we can't, I mean, we can do our best to do it, right? We can do our best to have it all, but I think we have to realize that sometimes it's just not going to happen. There are some days I feel like, dang, I got it all to get today. I am getting it.
Really?
And then the next day you're like, wow, what happened from yesterday to today? You know what I mean? Like it can be a
Yeah.
complete change. So
Yep. I agree.
you've
It
had days where it's all falls into place and you got it going, right?
This morning I woke up and I felt great and I went for a walk and I took a shower and I ate breakfast and I was like ready to go.
Yeah.
But that doesn't happen very often.
Mm-hmm.
Yesterday I was like sluggish and not moving and something was wrong with my stomach, and just
Yeah.
from one day to the next you feel so different and there isn't always a rhyme or reason.
Maybe that's what makes me feel good about this podcast episode is like some days I'm going to have it all. And some days my life's going to be just a crap show.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm okay.
Well,
I think we should be okay with that.
yeah, I think that's true. Sometimes you're gonna feel good and sometimes you're not gonna feel good, and that's okay too.
Right.
And I think the other thing that I'm starting to realize is I want to lose weight while still doing all the things I want to
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
That's not realistic. right?
know.
I
I
can't
want to lose
go
weight
out.
and not change anything.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
And when you say it out loud, it's the most ridiculous thing in the world. And I think that's what everybody wants to do. Like, I want to just lose weight, but not have to do anything for it.
Yes. Yes. I don't know where we got this idea though.
I don't know. I don't know. I
It's
also want a
crazy.
lot of other things, but I don't want to have to do any work for it too. Do you know what I mean? Like, I would
Yeah.
love to, have my household finished exactly how I want, but I don't want to put the work or the money into it. So,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah. I agree. It's hard to have it all. And I think when we start realizing that we cannot have it all, we cannot have cake and pizza and a beer and then say, "Oh, why am I up yet today?" But you can't have it all. Maybe
Yeah.
you can have a little bit of cake and maybe you can have a little bit of pizza and still be trying to lose weight, but that's it. It doesn't all go hand in hand.
Yeah. I think what we should be saying is I can have it all sometimes, but not every single day.
I think there is a quote, you can
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
there is a quote, right?
There is a quote. We're both failing miserably at our quotes today, the bacon and then this one.
I gotta find that before we
We can
get off
have it
because
all. You can have it all today, but you can't have it all every single day. How about we'll just leave it
yeah,
at that's not the
there
quote.
is there is a really good quote. Okay, fry up the bacon commercial.
Okay.
It's a perfume commercial.
For bacon?
No, it's the commercial.
You're confusing me
Right.
right
I'm trying to find the lyrics before I get off, but I can fry up the bacon. I can bring home the bacon, fry it up in a pan, and something, 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 my man. And she sprays this perfume on. I wish I could remember. It was from
now.
like
So
the 70s.
this bacon quote is a perfume ad?
Yes,
Never. It
it's a
would have
song. She
never
sings
thought it.
this song. Anyway, I went down a big rabbit hole with that.
I love it. And I think there's going to be so many people that are like, they're going to sing it as you said that. And
Oh
they're
yeah.
exactly what you're talking about. Not me. I don't
As
at
soon
all.
as I get off, I'm gonna listen to it and be like, "Oh, why couldn't I remember that?"
Yes. Too bad. I would have loved to hear you sing it. That would have been great. All
All right.
right.
So
So, yep.
where are you with the call to actions this week?
I'm gonna take my list of 7 dimensions and I'm gonna put them in order of how I feel like I need them this week.
Oh my gosh, that's so good.
And I'm gonna add a little caveat. I kind of want to ask my husband to do it too, but I don't think I'll get enough courage to do that
Why?
because I feel like he's gonna be like, "Oh, this is stupid." Bah.
How do you know what he's gonna say though?
I don't, but that's what I think he's gonna say, and I don't know if I want him to say it's stupid because then it'll hurt my feelings.
But if you already expect it, won't it not hurt your feelings because that expectation is there?
Yeah, maybe I'll be like, "Well, figured that," and yeah, maybe.
You should ask him.
I know. That's really what I want my call to action be, but I don't think I'll make it happen. So
I like that you're doing
maybe.
it for yourself though. I'm so curious.
Yeah. How about you?
I am taking a break this week. You think
What
that's
does
okay?
what does that mean, first of all? And then I'll answer that.
I'm traveling, I'm busy, I'm a little fatigued mentally. I feel like I have a lot to do. And in the spirit of not having it all, I'm not going to make a call to action this week. I'm continuing my salads 5 days a week because I had that for June. I'm going to still try to sleep reasonably and drink my water, but I'm not adding something new to the list.
But I also think that that is a call to action for you
Oh,
because I think
okay.
that you're going to find it really hard to not do it all. So what you're saying is you want to relax and take it easy and not put all this pressure on yourself and not try and get 500 things done. And I think that's going to be really hard for you to do.
Okay.
So I think it's a great not call to action.
Okay. I'll take it.
We'll see if you can successfully just relax.
That's going to be a challenge.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think it is.
Wow. I
We'll
feel
see.
guilty when I'm not doing stuff. So you're right. Oh boy.
This might be harder than you think.
Way to call me out, Leah.
I think it's going to be really hard. That's just me. All right.
Well, this
I'm
was
ready.
fun. I like this topic.
This was great. It really was. So have a great
I'm
week
gonna,
in
you
Florida.
too.
All right.
All right,
Bye.
take care. Bye.